Good morning, true believers. BUB'S Comics coming at you. Having a nice sip of coffee. Here's this is the first coffee mug that I had, I think, as a kid. I used to drink chocolate milk out of it. The inside's all scratched up from spoons, and it's got like, I used to keep pens in it at one time, and it still tastes great. But there you go. All right. So what we're going to get into today is going to be a comic haul, but this is kind of special for me because I finished off my Culling the Collection stuff. So all those comics are gone. They're all sayonara, right? Hundreds of books I've sold off, but this last batch that I sold off, about 150 books or so, was the last two shows that I've done. So you can go back and see the ones that I had and that I no longer have. But anyway, those are all gone, and I traded about it was a short box and a half or so about 150 books, and I traded that off for 4 books. So went to a local shop and made the trade. So let's see how I did. Let's make me small and get to the haul. Look out! All right, there we go. All right, so right here is a little foreshadowing here, a little Shazam and Daredevil action here. So everything went well. Went to the shop, took these in, and the first one I'll show you is Whiz Comics number 2. Yeah, right. Look at how big that is. This is the Treasury edition, the famous edition Treasuries that DC put out. Now it does have, I'll open it up for you real quick. It does have the attached second cover or first cover, if you will. But if you guys are familiar with these, you'll know that these famous first editions, they have 2 covers, and they also have some cool artwork on the back, but they also have a complete back cover as well. So if you guys are picking these up, also be careful on eBay if you see somebody's got an old book that looks too good to be true. It could just be some clever photography on these, because they're near identical. Very small amount of difference between this comic and the real Whiz Comics number 2. Of course, the first appearance of Shazam, I believe, or Captain Marvel. So very cool. I display it like, I just turn the cover back over when I put it in the bag and board, and I display it like that because that looks better to me than the other one. So that's how I keep it. Need to get some more bags and boards of these. I don't have too many left, and I don't have any Mylars. I hear there's some kind of art type Mylars you can get to display these. So looking forward to that. I hope you guys are sitting down. When you trade 150 books in for 4 books, and those books weren't, they weren't all just dollar books. So we trade those in, and we got some great books to show you here. First off, I'm down to only needing 1 book for my Daredevil run of 1 through 11, which I'm collecting the early Kirby and then the Wally Wood stuff. So that's why I'm collecting that particular run. Check this out. Daredevil number 3. A much better copy than I deserve. I mean, in my collection, I don't deserve this book. It's too nice. I don't think I'm gonna sell it. I got a really good deal on it. So, maybe, depending on who you talk to, some people are like, well, if you got that good a deal on it, sell it and then turn around, get a lower grade that you're still happy with, take the difference of that money and invest it in something else, or buy another book for yourself, whatever. I may do that, but really this is the best copy of any of those that I mentioned, 1 through 11, that I have. This is a solid mid-grade, we'll say, copy of this book, which goes for probably about double what I paid for it, or what I traded for it, if you will, in value. And it was advertised to me as detached on one staple, but it actually is not detached. It's still attached off the back cover, and just the front has those kind of 2 little rips that you get on the edge of staples sometimes. So that is attached. And with a little bit of tape can even be better attached. So, but this book didn't take. Usually I show all these books and they look really good. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that some of the books that I get are not, they start out looking pretty rough, and then I make them look better, and by the time you see them on camera, they're in a lot better shape. This book I've barely touched. I don't think there's a piece of tape in it anywhere. This is the way I got it. So looks fantastic. Nice flat copy. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. So the only book that I'm missing now in my Daredevil run from 1 through 11 is Daredevil Number Two. And actually, Daredevil Number Two, I don't think has any first appearances, whereas this is a first appearance of the Owlman, so it goes for a little bit more. So actually, Daredevil Number Two, I can get a real low grade of that somewhere around $100. So that's definitely on the hunt list. I'll be looking around for one of those and finish off that run for the year. So which is kind of the goal. This next book, I've looked at this book countless times. It always goes for a little bit more than I want to pay, but in this case, you know, with the trade and everything, worked out well. Here's Iron Fist number 1. Check that out. Punch an Iron Man in the chest. Iron versus Iron. The Duel of Iron. The Golden Avenger versus the Living Weapon. Just a lot of cool word bubbles on this. Iron Man's repulsor ray knocking me out. Iron Fist Kung Fu blow destroying my armor. I mean, it's just so cool. It's the battle you've been waiting for. Yeah, haven't you? So Iron Fist number 1. This book does have issues. It has real bad rusty staples here and here with migration and bleeding. So that needs to be cleaned up. Very hard to get rust out of the paper because it stains so bad. I can get some of the sediments out with a wet cleaning, but it's very tough to get the leftover staining. And I'm definitely going to be replacing these staples. So I may or may not show that in a video, because when you replace rusty staples, it's a little bit more difficult and you got to take more time, because if you ever had like a piece of charcoal or something and you know the point is, if I take the rusty staple and I'm not really careful, like both hands on it and really careful, and if I drag it across the paper, it will stain the paper like instantaneously. It'll start drawing, you know, more rust spots on the staple. So you got to be really careful with them when you deal with them. But anyway, Iron Fist number 1. I kind of wanted that book for a while. It was never on my real hard hunt list. Like I was going to hunt it down and buy it no matter what. Just get the best price I could. I had to own it. But it's one I've always kept an eye on, and I've lost a few auctions over the years for this book because it was out of what I wanted to pay. But this one, being in this trade, spot on, exactly what I wanted. And this next book, again, way better than I deserve in my collection. And it was this is a book that I've been after for a while and constantly lose out on auctions to. I've lost. I had this number in my head that I wanted to pay for this book, and I didn't want to pay more than that. And then I bumped that up by $10. And then the next year I bumped it up by another $10. I just kept bumping it up, you know. And I still couldn't get this book last year. And finally, here it is in 2021. It's the Astonishing Ant-Man Marvel Premiere number 47. So this book is clean. It is in such nice condition. And look at that. Marvel centering is in good shape too. It's pushed a little bit over, but I don't mind that nice white spine where the black line on the edge pushes past the staple a little bit, because that hides a few spine ticks, of which this book has 0. So but it is just a fantastic. The first appearance of Scott Lang as Ant-Man, and I just really have always wanted this book, regardless of the movie hype and stuff. I like the Ant-Man books. They're okay. They're not the Ant-Man movies. They're okay. They're not probably my favorite MCU movies. My wife really likes them, so that's a plus. So anytime she gets behind one of these movies, I'm like, okay, well, that bumps it up on the list a little bit. But I've always loved this dynamic cover. Thought it was super cool. And I like the Scott Lang Ant-Man story is pretty good, because, you know, Hank Pym was kind of a jerk a lot. So this kind of changed it a little bit, made him a little bit more likable character. Good stuff. Astonishing Ant-Man. Marvel Premiere 47. I just can't believe that this book's in my collection. after all this time hunting down this book. I mean, at first I thought I wanted this book. I was like, I'll give you $40 for that book. Then it went to 50, 60. So over the years, I had worked my way up to about $80 for this book and still couldn't get a well-presenting copy for that. There's so much damage available on this book and a lot of black. This has a lot of black spots on this book, and most of the ones that I come across were real beat up on the spine, ripped in the corner. You know, it also has this nice little feature in the corner where it has the hand holding the thing. So a lot of times that would be ripped off, and when you see it like that, it just loses some of the art, you know. So you don't have many places to lose art on this cover. So you need a pretty complete cover. Anyway, there it is. Marvel Premiere number 47 in the books. Iron Fist number 1 in the books. Daredevil number 3 in a solid mid-grade, looking fine. And Wiz Comics number 2, famous first edition. So there you go. That's my haul. Hope you all enjoyed that and stuck with me through all these culling the collection videos. Finally got them down. Sold traded hundreds of books this year in order to get all these fine books. Really sized down the collection a lot. My cabinet is so free flowing and easy to get books out now. And of course, here we go. We're already dumping more books in. My wife this morning already said, hey, what do you know, because I had a stack this big of stuff that needed to be filmed for a haul I picked up for the last week. And she's like, what are you doing? She's like, you just got that cleared out. And I was like, yeah, and I'm going to load it back up. And then when I get to the point again that it's more than I want to handle and it's just a ton of books, I'll do the same thing again. You know, sometime next year or year after, I'll go through the whole collection again, size it back down again. And the beauty is, if I just keep doing that, then by the time, you know, I'm done, if you will, with the comic cabinet, and it holds anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 books. It's somewhere around 2,300 right now. And by the time I'm done sizing that down and resizing it, it will be the most fire set of books you've ever seen. Like, it'll be such a nice tight collection of nothing but great books, art, stories, everything. So keys, just anything you can want out of that cabinet, you should be able to get. So also, to make some extra room in the cabinet this year, I'm going to be sending some off to get graded. I'm going to have some new storage ability here. This whole area over here is going to get redone, so I'll have lots of new storage. And when that comes in, I'll be able to store slabs and magazines and things other places. So going to have a lot of space for more books. So that's what we're looking forward to this year. We're going to be finishing up runs. We're going to be slabbing some books, and we're going to be just increasing the overall value of the collection. So per book even. So, all right, stick with me, guys. We're going to enjoy this and have a great 2021. Congratulations to me and my collection, and thanks to everyone that has helped me to slim down the collection and get my hands on some of these books. It's just been fantastic. So thank you all. We'll catch you on the next one. Remember to read a comic and don't apologize for the glare. Bye bye.